You're right there, Mark here from 6 Plus, continuing the series on the leagues of Votann, and I thought it'd be nice with the new army box set that I've done the video on my first impression when I opened it up. Why don't we go over the actual models in the box set? So the very first one that we're gonna go over, showing the sprue, then showing how it's built, and so on and so forth, is the Kahl. Okay, so the instructions in here, you have the Kahl or Uthar, Uthar the Destined. I do apologise, I butchered the names. Not the best at pronunciation, but I'm absolutely in love with this sculpt. Now, I've grabbed a sprue, but as you can see, is a multiple choice model. Okay, so you have it where you have obviously the named character here with his twin head backpack, his Volkite and his sword, whereas then the standard Kahl, the Destined one does have a particular head as well. The multi-part one, you can then have a bolt gun instead, or a bolter style gun. You can then have an axe or a mass gauntlet, but you can't have the sword. Okay, but yeah, let's grab the sprue and have a little gander and see how it looks. So, the sprue, you do have the tactical rock to play around with, and it's very chunky, but it's very well detailed. My biggest criticism looking through the instructions is it's not going to be very friendly to magnetize up the weapons. Now, the reason why I say that is when you have the range weapon, the hand, the actual outer part of the hand is attached onto the arm. Now, you could get around that by actually snipping away the outer part of the hand, attaching it onto the weapon. But the problem is, if you do that, you can only attach it onto the one weapon, so it doesn't really help. The way you could then try and magnetize it instead is try to get a magnet in there. But in all intents and purposes, it's too small to actually fit a magnet comfortably. As well as I was then thinking, oh well, at least I can magnetize up the melee weapon, because it's a nice fat flat joint. Okay, like say for example the axe here, the mass gauntlet is really chunky. However, there's only one shoulder pad, so you can't do that either. So the only thing you can magnetize, I would say, is potentially the crest over the backpack and the head. They're the only parts I would say you could magnetize. Other than that, I do love the model. It's very chunky, there's a lot of detail, there's a lot to play around with, and I'm really excited to get this one built. In all fairness, I am going to be building this on stream, that I'm going to do in a moment anyway, but through the magic of wizardy woo and editing, I'll then come back in a bit with this actually built, and we shall see what Kahl or Destined I have built, and then we'll discuss it afterwards, how the actual building process went. But I'm really excited, and I genuinely do like that you have a helmeted, two unhelmeted ones, just as options. It's just really good. But I'll catch you in a minute. Alright, and we're back. As you can see here, I've had some fun building up this Kahl here, and I've done a little bit conversion bit. So I grabbed a spare bit from the champion. Okay, so this bit here, this little tassel, doesn't come on the sprue. As I said in the sprue part, I think I know why they've done it, but it was a pain that you couldn't magnetize up the arm that well. Okay, because you only had this one pauldron. If you were a savant with magnets, you may be able to magnetize underneath the shoulder and but it's just like, oh my god, that's painful. And I did try to look at magnetizing up the hand. However, just the sheer you wouldn't be able to just chop off the hand, okay? Because the outer part of the fist is part of the arm, and you only get one arm. So you'd have to try and magnetize it in the wrist, but you don't have a lot of leeway there. So I would say for having multiple weapon options, you don't really have a chance of magnetization per se. You can magnetize up the head, absolutely fine, absolutely fine. Put a little magnet there, put a little magnet in the bottom. I've done it for some of my Karajan Overlords. But negatives aside, it went together so easily, so easily. Just cleaned up the mold lines, just so well. It slotted together. It wasn't difficult to put together at all. Really like how scenic it is, and I have hopefully figured out a colour scheme. However, I will state this very clearly. It's still in the adaptation phase, and I will be painting these up on stream. So if you do want to follow along and have input, because the weapons were done via votes on the Twitch stream. I put a vote up what hand weapon you'd want, head, separate polls, so this was all community based. And if you want to be involved with that, by all means join the Twitch and the Discord. You're more than welcome, and you can get really behind how this army's going to look and how it's going to feel. But I'm really excited with how this model's going to come out. And as I said, it went together so well. Okay? But I shall let you crack on there. The usual, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Comment down below, you know, what you're excited to see about the Votann going forward. And as I said, social links are down in the description. But thank you again for watching through as all the way to the end. It's very much appreciated. And I hope to see some of you, if not all of you, in the future. You take care now.